The flavour associated with the water element is salty. And the salty flavour has a really great effect on the kidney and bladder, which are the organs that are most sensitive now. You'll find the salty flavour in many different places, especially on this table. So we have 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐍 vinegar, 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐍 plums, 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐍 furikake. So 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈��� is a pickled plum from Japan in macrobiotic cuisine. So this is a really strong antibiotic, an immune booster. It's just the most amazing thing to have. If you're feeling like a cold or a flu's coming on, especially in this winter season, suck on one of those plums. Be prepared to go, because they're really, really salty. You can end your soups as a garnish using 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝍍 vinegar. Use it to make tahini dressing. 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝍍 just has been a staple in my pantry for, I reckon, 30 something years. It's just so worth it. I used to travel with the plums. And furikake is like a dukkha, but a Japanese sprinkle. So this has got 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝍍 in it. So you can just sprinkle that over everything in winter. You also can get it like this. I got this in Japan, and I've been putting that around the ring of margaritas because it's salty and it looks really pretty, but you can also put it on anything, your eggs for breakfast. And this I also got in Japan. So this is 𝐒𝐒𝐑𝐈𝐍 concentrate, super, super salty. And what you do when you're traveling on clean hands is you just put one little drop and go, and you're all better. You won't get sick. Well, you'll reduce your chances of it. It's really salty. So your kidneys will go, yay! Let's make miso soup. This is one of my favourite foods to eat and has been for a long time. So if you suffer with adrenal fatigue, burnout, exhaustion, weariness over the world, miso soup is what you want. And it's salty and grounding. So miso soup people think is, the stuff you get in Japanese takeaways. That's usually a packet. So I'm going to show you how to make it from beginning to end. So a little bit of olive oil, and then I start with onion and garlic and ginger. And while they're just cooking for a bit, I want to talk about the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands are little tiny glands that are like almond shaped that sit on top of your kidney. So when we get anxious and fearful and feeling that the world's not a safe place to be, the adrenal glands suck that energy from the kidney and then they run out of juice. So see them like your fuel tank, and you run out of adrenaline and cortisol, your stress hormones. Then we get really depleted, and then we get really anxious and worried and scared and unsafe. So the adrenal glands need to be kept really healthy. We take adaptogen herbs for that. Adaptogen herbs are a whole other segment, but they are things like ashwagandha or withania, Siberian ginseng, Romania, licorice. But now we're going to make this beautiful miso soup for our adrenal glands, which will keep our kidney really happy. Okay, onions just a little bit soft. They don't have to be caramelized in this at all. So in here I have garlic, ginger, and some coriander stems. So coriander is a pungent flavor, as we've learnt from the metal element. So that's really great for digestive health. Give it a little stir around. Add some celery, because this just is beautiful for the kidney. Celery seeds, celery leaves, celery. It's a really good diuretic for the kidney. And water types tend to gain weight easily because of the adrenal stress. So if your cortisol is often high and you're breathing like this, it's really hard to get your prana or your life force in through your nose, your oxygen. So our adrenals think we're in danger all the time, 24/7. So we gain weight because your body doesn't want, it thinks it's in war or a famine. So it will just hold on to that weight, which, people will often say, I don't eat very much, but I'm putting on weight because we're always stressed. And if you're a water type, you're just going to feel it more and the fluid will build up. So celery is great for that. Okay, pretty much that's kind of it. I like putting pumpkin dough into my miso soup because it just gives it this sweetness. And I leave the skin on because there's loads of zinc in the skin, and that's about immune health. That's where a lot of the flavour is. And then I'm going to add some water. So clean, not tap water, never tap water, but clean filtered water. And now the fun begins. If you don't know what this is, you're going to love me forever for this. So this is dashi powder. So dashi is the base of Japanese cuisine. all cuisines are very fussy about their stock, like the French, like they use chicken stock. And Italians will use beef stock. So this is the Japanese stock that's made from seaweed, bonito flakes, which is fish, but you can get a vegan one. It's not as nice though, in my opinion. And shiitake mushrooms, which are these. So these are great for your immune system and they're antiviral, perfect in winter for their water element. So I like putting 2 sachets in because I like it really salty, because when I'm feeling run down and stressed and the world's not a safe place to be, it's so yummy to have that salty flavour. So in goes your dashi. And then to make it extra salty, I like using a little bit of fish sauce. Of course, you don't have to. If you don't want to have fish, you can use mushroom soy, or just use an extra sachet of the vegan dashi. It's a beautiful Spiral Foods product. And what else? Oh, soy sauce. So you can use shoyu or tamari. So this is wheat free. This one's not, but they're organic, so they're not GMO soybeans. And this is a gluten-free straight up soy, like the ones you get in, sushi, at the sushi train, but without the GMO. So I'm going to use my beautiful little soy pot from Brooke Jenkins Ceramics because I love it, and I have my tamari in here. So just like a teaspoon, but taste it. Obviously, you'll make it how you like it. And turn the heat up. And then I'm going to add some shiitake mushrooms here as well. I know it's overkill, but it's not. You wait till you taste it. So Macrobiotic Diet says 1 shiitake mushroom per family per day. I put in 3 or 4 for a pot this size. And then I'm going to add some dulse flakes. You can add arame as well, or you can add hijiki, but I'm adding dulse. I love this purple flavour. This is for your iodine, your protein, your calcium, your thyroid, detox, skin, digestive health, everything. Kidney. Seaweed is brilliant for the kidney. It's salty. So, and it's dark, so it's just the perfect food for the water element, or any of us in winter. Okay, so let's just wait for that pumpkin to soften and for those shiitake mushrooms to soften. And then we're going to add our miso at the end and plate it up. So while we wait, maybe 5 minutes, let's just take a moment to thank one of my fabulous sponsors, Spiral Foods. Spiral Foods have a huge variety of different noodles made from either buckwheat or quinoa, wheat, and also heaps of gluten-free ones and rice. I do use these organic wheat udon noodles. They are traditionally made. They're absolutely delicious, and I have no problem digesting them because the wheat is organic. The problem with wheat often, unless you're a celiac and you have an allergy to gluten, is the chemicals that the gluten is grown with. Number 1, glyphosate, but so many others as well. So just check it out and see for yourself. See if organic wheat makes a difference. And then try normal wheat that's been conventionally grown with chemicals. See if you can digest it. If I can, I reckon most of you too can too. If you're interested to find out more and more of the ingredients in these noodles, check out the link in the description or go to spiralfoods.com.au. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, and I have pulled my shiitake mushrooms out because I used dried shiitake mushrooms here, and you don't want to eat the stem of the shiitake mushroom. They're inedible. So put them in your worm farm or in your compost, something like that. If you use fresh shiitake mushrooms, which is always a joy, when you can get them, just chop them up and pop them in and leave them. You don't need to take them back out again. Some people like to hydrate these first and then, so you're not pulling them out of the soup, but it's just one more thing to wash up. But if you want to do that, great, but make sure you use the soaking liquid back into the soup. Don't waste that. A lot of nutrients are in there. Okay, that is a lot of mushroom, right? So I was being a little bit generous, but I like the mushrooms in there. They just feel so good in my body, and they will in yours as well. So let's put these back in to the soup and let them just reheat a little bit. And the final step in this beautiful dish that will be part of your life forever is the miso paste. So the deal with miso paste is you want to get organic miso paste, because usually it has soybeans in it, and soybeans 99% of the time are grown using GMO technology. It's a very thick paste. So this one's 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿𝐏𝐿. It's one of the darkest ones you can get. So you can get from light to dark. So this one over here is sweet rice. It's young white rice. So that's for spring. And the darker ones are for autumn and winter. So, and they're quite like Bonox almost, but you know, so much better for you, obviously. This just balances your gut flora. If you've had a bout of anything, gastro, anxiety, pain in your tummy in your middle for any reason, miso. And for a quick tip, a little bit of this dashi powder, like a teaspoon, and half a teaspoon of miso with some hot water and ginger if you're up for it. It will just settle your tummy. Okay, so I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of this 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐿𝐏. miso. That's a long fermented paste, that one. It's not a young food. And that's what we want to eat in the water element in winter. Okay, so you don't want to boil miso. It's a live enzyme. There are live enzymes in there. So you don't want to cook it to kill those live enzymes. You just turn it off and stir it all through. And then you taste it. And if you want a little bit more anything, like tamari or fish sauce or a bit more miso, then go for it. Look at that. I mean, now it looks like miso, doesn't it? So let's serve this baby up. Okay, so these are rice noodles. They're spiral rice noodles, and they're called black rice noodles, but these are perfect for winter. They're dark. You can use the white ones in spring, but generally we use darker foods in winter. Grounds us. Okay, look at this. At least once a week I eat this all year round. And that's because my second element is water, earth, water. And sometimes I'm not sure which one is more dominant, but definitely in winter the water one is. But I eat this all year round. It just feels really great. So any gut problems that you have miso soup. This is toasted sesame oil. Don't go crazy. You just want, it'll kill all the other tastes, all the other flavors. So just a few drops in there. And then I'm going to get some coriander and some spring onions. And just because I have this right here, the 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐏𝐲, and just because I went to Japan this year and I'm all over macrobiotic food again, let's do this. It's got sesame seeds, black sesame seeds, umeboshi, seaweed. I mean, seriously, look at that. So if you're really enjoying the information that I'm sharing with you, know that I'm just scratching the surface, and I've got an online course. So if you're interested in doing a deep dive into the 5 elements in traditional Chinese medicine, then go to my website and find out more about me and the course. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Janella Purcell, and this is Living Your Element Water.